Right now in this COVID-19 thing, we are seeing some drastic changes in the way that business is done. I see small groups meeting on Zoom. I see people who would normally just sit down for a chat and have a cup of coffee at Starbucks for an hour or two, either just talking by phone or not talking at all. Some are becoming complete recluses, and some are just going stir crazy because they're suffering with cabin fever and they can't get out of the house.
Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast. 5-minute videos, 5 days a week.
I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast, and I want to ask this question. In this time that you've had to kind of revamp the way you do business, or maybe you've completely lost your job and you're having to look for another job or find a job in an essential business kind of a field because, well, so far it's been 2.5, almost 3 weeks, and it's going to be another month, at least. By national declaration, at least another month that we will operate on a skeleton crew of essential businesses only. What has that meant to you? How much business have you lost? How many hours at work have you lost? Cut out of your schedule, cut out of your paycheck, cut out of your time. How much of that has changed your future plan? And I'm just asking because we know right now you've got, today's April Fool's Day. According to the president, we've got another 30 days of quasi-sheltering in place, meaning don't leave the house unless you have to. Don't try to get yourself sick unless you want to, but we prefer that you didn't. Don't be going places you don't have to go. We've already seen some businesses closed out altogether, some that are being shuttered down. They can't afford to pay the lease or the mortgage on it if they don't have people coming in and out the door on a regular basis. Restaurants have converted to, they're paying the delivery charges if you'll just buy food from them. There's a lot of shift in our economy right now in the way we do business. And I'm asking the question, have you taken the time to think about what your business will look like next? I know there are a lot of churches out there that have shuttered their doors and they've moved to online services. And for some of them, that was an easy step because they were already offering something online every weekend as it is. Others have said, we're going to take our entire platform online and we're going to do not just our Sunday services, but we're going to do our kids' nights and we're going to do our Sunday school classes for kids of all ages. Every one of them will have something online. They can go and watch the lessons and watch the videos and engage. And for some churches, that was really easy. For some others, that's a really expensive venture. For some small businesses, the consultations they would normally do by phone or over a cup of coffee can be done by Zoom. And that's pretty easy transition. But for some people, those of us in the event business, other speakers, the bulk of the income comes from standing on the platform and selling books at the back of the room. And that's really hard to do when you only put 10 people in a room. And if it's a non-essential business, you're going to have a hard time even getting those 10 people in the room. So how has your business changed? What have you thought about in how you will do business in the future? Some people have picked up side hustles, and some people have picked up side hustles on their side hustle. And they're doing things that are outside the norm of what they would do, but they're doing things that create survival. I saw someone who's, last time I talked to him, was a regional VP of sales in a multinational company that provides investment and insurance. And he's now offering to do brake jobs in his home garage because he's got a really nice home garage and all the tools he's accumulated over 40 years. But he's offering to do brake jobs for you in order to keep the cash flow coming because he's still got to pay bills too. Now see, there's something that's fascinating to me about this, and that is that some people have gone into coasting mode. They're really sitting back waiting for that government check to come in to bail them out and keep them bills coming in for the month and keep the lights on and keep the rent paid. And they're not sure when they're going to get it or how big the check will be. They're just expecting it to magically appear in their checking account. Well, trust me, if the government gives it to you, the government's going to want it back in the form of taxes. That's a promise. It's never not been that way. And I would be flabbergasted to think that it changes. But there's a whole breed of people who are saying, let me find another way to generate revenue, even if I have to think outside the box and do what I've never done. So let me ask you again, are you thinking now about what will change when all of this is over? How you will be different and what you'll do to pay the bills? I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. It is TV. Have a blessed day.
Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.